Hello friends, in the series on income tax cases, today we will discuss a very important case where the assessee files his return of income under section 148 by disclosing his income, and the assessing officer accepts his returned income under section 148, but the assessee has not filed his original return of income. The question before Mumbai ITAT G bench in the present case was that if the case of the assessee falls in any of the provision for under reporting of income under section 270A subsection 2, and the case of the assessee does not fall in any of the exceptions where the assessee can save his penalty, so whether in that case the question of examining assessee's subjective intention assumes any significance. This issue has been decided by the Mumbai ITAT G bench in the case of Sanjay Sharma versus assessment unit, and this case is reported in 188 taxman.com 701, and the date of the judgment is 14th July 2026. The present case of the assessee is related to the assessment year 18-19. In the present case, the assessee has not filed his original return of income. Some TDS has been deducted by the deductors on the income of the assessee. The revenue was having the knowledge that the TDS has been deducted and there is some income which has escaped assessment, so the notice under section 148 was issued to the assessee. The assessee filed the return of income in response to the notice issued under section 148 and showed his income and paid the taxes. The returned income of the assessee under section 148 was accepted, but after completing the assessment, the learned assessing officer imposed the penalty on the assessee under section 270A subsection 2 clause B, which talks about under reporting of income by the assessee, where the assessee has not filed his original return of income, but he files the return of income under section 148, and the returned income under section 148 is more than the exemption limit. The assessee raised objections against this initiation of penalty, but ultimately the penalty was imposed by the assessing officer, which was duly confirmed by the learned CIT appeal. When the matter was before the honorable bench, the bench said that in the present case, the availability of information with the department or TDS deducted on the income of the assessee does not dispense with the statutory obligation cast upon the assessee to furnish the return of income. The tribunal said that in the present case, the case of the assessee clearly falls under section 270A subsection 2 clause B for the imposition of the penalty, and the assessee has grossly failed to demonstrate that the case of the assessee falls in any of the exceptions which is mentioned under section 270A subsection 6 clause A to E. So, in the present facts and circumstances, question of examining assessee's subjective intention assumes little importance, and the imposition of the penalty by the assessing officer in the present case is justified. Friends, it has been seen in many cases that where there are some salaried employees which are working in government department, they feel that their TDS has been deducted, so now they do not have any need to file the return of income. Or sometimes it happens that the assessee has sold some property and purchased some properties. They claim exemption under section 54, 54F, but they do not file the return of income by having an impression that there is no need to file the return of income. But whether they are eligible for any exemption or not, it is to be determined by the assessing officer. The basic requirement for filing the return of income arises the moment your income exceeds the basic exemption limit. So if you show your income by filing the return of income under section 148, then your case may cover for under reporting of income under section 270A subsection 2 clause B. So it is always advisable to file the return of income once your TDS are deducted or you are having your income more than the basic exemption limit. At the end of this video, once again I am repeating the name of the case, the name of the Case is Sanjay Sharma versus Assessment Unit, and this case is reported in 188 taxman.com 701, and the matter has been decided by Honorable Mumbai ITAT G bench on 14th July 2026. Thank you, friends.